California, one of the most beautiful states in the Union. From the redwoods of Northern California to the beaches of LA. The great weather, the variety of landscape has brought many people to the Golden State. However, there is a downside to living here. Behind the beauty, the bridges, beaches, the ballparks, and the beautiful buildings, there is a migration of the middle class out of California. The strict regulations on businesses and climbing real estate prices and heavy taxation have caused people to leave the Golden State in droves. In the hope of finding the utopia, our government leaders have encouraged a further depletion of our resources to properly maintain a city's health, its protection from those that would steal from us, its hostility to law enforcement, to religious organizations, its cultural suicide. It used to be you would live in SoCal and take the 15 out of the valley into the desert and head to Vegas for the weekend entertainment. Today, it's being more common now to live in Vegas and take the 15 back to SoCal for the beaches, entertainment, and professional sports teams. Although now the NFL Raiders will be leaving their residence in Oakland in a year and moving to Vegas as well. In 2018, 38,000 more people left California than entered it. It is to such a degree that for U-Hauls, the rate can be twice as expensive as for those moving out than for those moving in, as they have to find ways to get the trucks back to California, usually empty. California has lost 500,000 people in the last 8 years. Probably more importantly, however, is that they have lost 13,000 businesses in the last 9 years. That is a sign that the trend will continue. Businesses provide jobs, and when jobs dry up, people can't make the money to support themselves, and so you move on to somewhere where you can, like states that are more business friendly. Corporations are not a non-human, evil, greedy entity, but are made up of people making an income, supporting a family. When businesses move out, tax revenue goes down, resources dry up, cities' budgets go into debt, and they try to suck more money from the already overburdened taxpayer. It's a downward spiral. The real situation is even worse than what the numbers show, as people are still having babies in California at a good rate. So much of the population growth has been from births, with more than 76,000 migrants crossing the U.S. border in February of 2019 alone. Unauthorized entries double from the previous year, many of them going to California with their sanctuary cities. Today, California is home to 1/4 of the nation's welfare recipients, despite having only 12% of the nation's population. 1 out of 4 Californians is poor, ranking it as the poorest state in the Union. The social problems have also caused extensive homelessness. There's a noticeable difference to the amount of trash on the roads. In the words of reporter Eric Johnson with Seattle's ABC affiliate Como, who did a video, "Seattle is Dying," a city is a living thing. It has a rhythm, a heartbeat, a kind of soul. It has a collection of ideas that we protect and defend. Those that are on the front lines doing the defending are our police. Yet in these cities, the law enforcement's hands are being tied by local politics, by administrative leaders and judges who do not punish crime. Como did a generic questionnaire with local police officers and found the officers stated they were told not to enforce the law. One officer responded, "Start keeping criminals in jail. Judges need to stop giving them ridiculously low sentences, and prosecutors need to stop accepting cheesy plea deals and actually lock people up when they commit a crime." While Seattle is second in property crime of major cities according to the FBI stats for 2017, the top 5 cities of California all rank above New York, with San Francisco being at the top, even above Chicago. It is not just the crime in California, but also the cost of living, housing. KFMB San Diego CBS Channel 8 reported a survey of 53% of Californians are considering moving. Among the largest group leaving are millennials, and the reason is housing costs and availability. The median home value in San Diego is $590,000. Across the state of California, it is $540,000. Buying a house is unaffordable to all but 28% of the state's population, according to an index by the California Association of Realtors. I can attest to that. I sold a house there in the modest South San Jose neighborhood for $120,000. Today it is worth over $1 million. 20 years ago, you could maybe go a few miles inland to get something cheaper, but today you really have to go far inland and have a 2 to 3 hour commute to the Bay Area. It's so bad that even some with decent jobs in Silicon Valley will sleep in their cars or at their jobs during the week and just go home on weekends. For others, the traffic, the commute is just too much. Many Californians choosing to move to its neighboring state to the north. But its biggest city, Portland, also has its problems as well. Portland was known as a mecca for resources for the homeless, but much of the resources have run out. Portland's leaders choosing to focus on other things. According to the CBS affiliate 17 Portland, they signed into law a mental health day where stressed out kids can have excused days off from school. While Portland is very liberal, much of Oregon is conservative. Oregon has no sales tax, which is probably why Oregon receives a net gain of 20,000 new residents from California every year. Some Californians will move to Washington for no state income tax and better quality of life for children. While California's neighboring states to the north get some of the migration, it is the states to the east where most of the Californians are fleeing to. Idaho and Nevada are the country's two fastest growing states, and they can thank California for that. Idaho, being more conservative, is attractive for many on the right wanting to flee the restrictive, overregulated, high-tax California. In 2018, Idaho received a net gain of about 16,000 people from the Golden State. Over 100,000 people in California moved to the Vegas area in 2018, so much so that Henderson, a suburb of Vegas, surpassed Reno as Nevada's second largest city. The politics in Nevada has moved a little to the left, and those on the right are hoping that the same policies that made California unaffordable will not happen to Nevada. Phoenix, the second fastest growing American city in 2017, can also thank California. Have you tried to drive in Phoenix lately? I'm telling you, it's a little like LA. Arizona, however, has a more business-friendly climate. I think I would try Flagstaff or Tucson. The most popular state Californians are moving to is Texas. Over half of the migrants from California are going to Texas. It's given Texas a very diverse community, as they also receive many people from New York as well. California has made a choice. Political correctness, taxes, open borders, and heavy regulations have prevented prosperity for much of the middle class. The state's 40 years of hostility towards businesses, high utility and labor costs, and excessive punitive regulations, rough housing affordability has taken its toll. It continues to punish the achievers and reward bad behavior. That is never a recipe for anything good. Despite all that, it is still a beautiful state, and I hope new leaders will rise up and the voters will look at the history of this great state and start to put leaders back into office who will be more friendly to law enforcement, to businesses, to those that work hard and obey the laws, to faith-based organizations that do so much good in the community. I know it sounds like this video has been a little bit of a downer on California. I love California. It's the place I was born and raised. It is still a great place to visit. I encourage you to come to the Golden State, to visit, experience the beautiful scenery, spend your money here. The city budget sure need it. A piece of my heart is still in San Francisco. Oh, and the poop thing? Way overblown. San Francisco is still a beautiful city, but with that being said, I wouldn't want to live there. Enjoy California scenery with a visit, but enjoy another state's lower taxes, less regulated, business-friendly, and I might add maybe more people-friendlier climate. Hey, I'm a Californian, but I do admit many Californians very self-absorbed and have an entitlement mentality. One of the many reasons I am happy living outside of the Golden State. I'd love to hear your thoughts about California. Are you moving out? And if so, where to? Thank you for watching California, the Exodus of the Golden State.